Oh, there we go. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. I'm a little out of breath because I lost track of time messing with my cats and had to run back upstairs. I gotta be honest, I was really looking forward to doing Oxygen Not Included today, but I started playing a single player save, a vintage story, over the weekend. And gosh, it's so nice to play a game that's cozy and in my control for the most part and doesn't have a bunch of little dunderheads getting themselves trapped or getting themselves boiled or anything like that. Oh, I should probably scoot my face over. I'm covering up my mini map. Let's grab that. And then grab these. There we go. So, taking a short break on Oxygen Not Included. This is definitely not me saying that I'm just going to quit playing the save entirely. But I just want to relax. I want something that's a bit lower stakes. Though we do have a temporal storm in 2 days, so unfortunately we will have to deal with the horrors. But that's okay. We don't have to deal with that yet. Sanity not included. Yeah, basically. Um, but I've got about a dozen hours in this world, and I've made progress a lot faster than I thought I was going to. Um, there was a pretty really. First, you run up and down the house for half an hour, and now you're chewing on cables. Can we not? Huh? Butthead. Jelly has been rambunctious most of today. As I was saying, I've made some pretty fast progress. Spawn is all the way out here in this gravelly, mountainous area. It's kind of stop. I'm gonna have to get up and move my cat like she's a 3-year-old. Um, Made my way around. There were some pretty nice vistas here and there. There's a cool, like, ruined engineer's tower over here. Um, there's just a handful of things, a smattering of things. There's a plateau here that's just constantly covered in bears. There's also a plain down here, or not there. It's the one with the white skull over here. This is constantly covered in wolves. Like the last time I was here, there were like 7 or 8 of them. It was ridiculous. Um, but I think instead of making some grand progress today, I'd like to clean up some of my starter base stuff. We've got some crops planted that will be ready in about 3 weeks. How many days do these have? Stage 3 of 9 or of 7. These will be ready in a couple weeks. I have 30-day months on currently. I don't exactly know what we're going to replace this with, but I'd like a spot to put pit kilns and bloomeries and any. I may just do something to take my little smithy wall I've got sitting here and combine it with my pit kiln work that I need to have done. Eventually, you can put a beehive kiln in it, but I don't know if I'm going to or not. Also, don't mind me. I gotta fix something real quick. Yeah, that looks good. Used to having myself more in the center of the camera. I took a break from streaming for a few days because, well, I could say that I was exhausted and in the end of a depressive episode, but I'll just say the vibes were off. Just bad vibes. Not doing it. But I do feel a good bit better today. How do we want to do this? I want to fill that back in, maybe. For one, I got to figure out a footprint. I have a lot of cooking I'd like to do. I want to get some pottery so that we have crocks prepared for the winter. I kind of want to scoot this over so I have room for a path, maybe? 2, 3... Is 3 wide gonna be enough? Yeah, probably. And then we have the wall here. It's 3 off, so we'll do this for the wall. And then we'll just have a nice big pit here. I'm thinking maybe 16 spaces or so. That's probably going to be plenty. Then we'll fill in the rest with sand for now. So let's see, that's 5, 5, 13, 15. Or wait, no, 6, 6, 3. Yeah, that's 15. That may have to do, unless I can get 18 if I do a 6x6 instead. Why not? Get it nice and square. And I also have to decide what kind of material do I actually want to make my buildings out of. Right now I'm working with rammed earth because it's my favorite starting material. But we've got a pretty wide array of rocks to choose from. We have clay stone, we've got granite, we have limestone off to the east, we have chalk to the west here, and more reliably out here. Hi, Elward. I have basalt as well. Basalt's cool, but the problem is I don't actually know how deep this basalt vein or this area is. There may not be a lot of rock to work with in there, and it'd be a shame to get set up over there and not actually have any material to work with. I could dig deep and go for andesite, but I always go for andesite. Everything of mine ends up looking blue at some point. Exchange position, time to panic. It's just because of the mini-map. I was on the other side, and I was like, I'm sure it's fine. I think I'm going to do granite. Of course, if I'm going to be doing that, I have to get my babies out. My splitter plugs. I love my splitter plugs! And also, yeah, sorry for starting this kind of like in the middle, or just at the very... It's not the very start. I wasn't really planning on streaming Vintage Story until the next major update comes out. And then I started reading more stuff about Vintage Story, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to play Vintage Story. And then I just got carried away. Now the question is, how deep is this granite actually? Oh, there are the cattle. They're running again. Me too. Though I'm probably gonna do what we've done before. It's gonna go stable. I'm gonna let people play it so that they can make guides and summaries of what's available, and then I'm gonna wait for mod authors to get their stuff going with the stable versions, and then I'll play. Funny enough, though, a bunch of the stuff I usually mod Vintage Story for are actually just features. They're fixing the fire pits, for one thing, so the temperature doesn't reset every time you cook something. I cooked an entire stack of flint, because my one bituminous coal vein I've got at the surface does not have fire clay under it. And there are no bauxite regions that I've discovered yet, and I'm not traveling 1,000 blocks, 2,000 blocks to find any. So I just cooked a stack of flint, and I literally set a stack of flint and a stack of fuel in the campfire, and then I went and I made lunch, and I did some work, and I took a walk, and when I came back, it was still only like 2/3 of the way through. Like, it was bad. I'm excited to see fishing. I'll be so happy when the fish you kill don't sink to the bottom, which is so unfathomably stupid. Like, I'm sure they're not simulating swim bladders for fish, but still, it's still so annoying. Oh, I haven't used splitter plugs in so long. Oh, oh, you love that. Yeah, I love it. Ah, it tickles my autistic brain in very good ways. I love the tinking. Oh, it's perfect. I really do like this game. I love this game. It's so good, man. It's so damn good. I didn't bring any ladders. Let's grab some ladders so I can actually, instead of doing flat layers, I can do big chunks. And we can drop some of this stuff I have on me off it too. All right, 7 ladders? That's not going to be nearly enough. But I also don't need a whole lot. I'd really rather go flat rather than deep to start. Enjoy Minecraft after this game. I have the Minecraft community server, right? And I got that up and I had fun playing with people. And 2 things happened. One, there were some shenanigans about someone doing crap in my base. And as soon as I finally caved, because it happened multiple times, and I caved and I installed Core Protect. And after doing that, I couldn't figure out who it was because they stopped doing it or stopped playing or something. I don't know. So that killed part of my motivation. But also, I hit my 2-week period, right? I played Minecraft. I had fun with my friends for a couple weeks, and that was it. I was satisfied. Plus, again, it was just purely vanilla, so it was kind of anyway. I was doing it for the experience. Yeah, I saw you join once, but you were going through it, so I didn't want to bother you about it or anything like that. I'm in this weird middle ground right now where I want to play Vintage Story multiplayer, but I don't want to break into a brand new community. If you know what I mean? Like, I went on Reddit and I was like, let's see if we can find some servers. And I found one that looked promising, and like everything else on the internet right now, they're like, oh, join our Discord and you can find more information. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And I go in, and it's like 280 people. They've been running this server for a few years, and they've got lore for so many factions. And I'm just like, how the fuck are you supposed to, like, break into this? Where do you start? These are people who have, like, in-game alliances and clashes that have lasted for years, and they have documented lore about it, and I'm like, where do you start with this? Like, I went to look at some of the faction populations, and not even the biggest ones, but just some of the smaller groups. They have, like, dozens of people. And I'm thinking, unless you join the server from the very start, you're just not going to have the same kind of Vintage Story experience, because there's no Stone Age, there's no Copper or Bronze Age. You're going to join in, and it's just going to be straight to Iron Age, PvP, faction warfare. It's like, nah, this ain't for me. It feels like it's hard to find a good in-between of little Timmy starting his first Minecraft server and posting ads to get people to play it, but doesn't say anything about it. And hey, we're an established group and we've been doing this for like years, and this is like something we like take donations for and shit. It's like, can I just in between some medium, please? I tried to get into Vintage Horizons, and the real trouble was that everyone was just kind of sequestered into like 3 towns. And no matter who I looked for, there were already just filled roles for everything, right? Of course, clearly my gut tells me it's like, oh, well, you just need to start your own faction. And it's like, really? Socializing in a multiplayer game, really? Is that what we have to do? I can't just do my job, keep my head down, and listen to the tinking over hours on end, and amaze people with the giant, like, mile-deep quarries that I make that drive you insane when you get to the very bottom. I'm a simple man. I have very simple needs, and one of them is carving out the earth over long periods of time while no one's watching, and watching their amazement as they ask, don't you have a job? How did you do this? Abolished 4 cities because a lot of people left. Really? Yeah, and that's another thing with multiplayer games, with games of this nature, is the issue of permanence versus impermanence. Not everyone is big on ephemerality. Like, you go into a new run or a new save and knowing, I'm going to get bored of this at some point, or something's going to have to change. I'm going to move on to something else, it's not going to stick around forever. That's fine. But getting everyone on the same page about that is tough. Vintage? Yeah, Vintage. This is just a single-player world. But I started reading patch notes for the upcoming major update, and then I like binged Reddit for like 2 hours, and I was like, okay, I'm playing Vintage. And I played for like 12 hours over the weekend, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing Oxygen Not Included right now because it feels like a chore. I'll just do Vintage until I've had my fill, and then I'll go back to Oxygen Not Included or whatever strikes me. Also, I'm not paying for the licensing for that cafe music anymore, so we're just keeping things quiet. I don't mind the in-game music, but the in-game music's just kind of sometimes. Like, some of it's really good, and some of it's like, why is this here? But yeah, it's just yapping and playing Vintage. Right now I'm just getting resources because I want to get away from my starter builds. And I think I'm going to make something out of granite. Right now I want to work on an area for a pit kiln. I'll probably leave room for a beehive kiln. And then I want to do my smithy stuff. New wax smell goods. Ooh, that sounds nice. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, I really do want to do multiplayer Vintage Story, but I'm just struggling to find a space that fits me, if that makes sense. And of course, I could just host something myself, but chances are good it's going to go the way of the community Minecraft server. And I'm already a little short on funds. So yeah, I think it can wait. I feel like getting the addiction out in single player is just fine for now. Still, the second someone says, like, hey, I found this cool multiplayer server, and the people... The fuck? And the people are nice, I'll be like, alright, I'm in. Let's do it. You son of a bitch, I'm in. You've convinced me. Although, I think there's probably going to be a shortage of new servers until the new major version comes out, because everyone else is going to be in the same boat of, oh, let's not reset until everything's new and fresh. That's just kind of how this works. But I mean, we were in the same position like 2 years ago. Because there was a server we had on Monkey Station, and people dropped out of that, and then we found... Oh, what was the place Pizza took us to? It wasn't Vintage Horizons, it was some other place. I forget what it was, but we found like the big Ironhold group, and turns out there was server drama, and there was conflict between the server's biggest faction and the server admins for like favoritism in some PvP event. And so the whole faction left, and the server essentially was on its last breath when we found it. So we moved off to the far south. Yeah, but you were there. Candor, that was it. Yeah. Realms of Candor or something like that. And things were nice there, but we weren't really getting the server wide interactions we wanted. We got stuck in we got caught up in some other groups' personal drama, and then it became personal in our group, and I was like, shit happens. But what the point I was getting at was, at the time, we were... That's a little louder than I would like. I am yapping here. We waited a good while for a new major update after that. That's when I started the Stale Bread Tales server. And we spent... we spent like 6 weeks talking about mods, trying to get shit sorted out, and then waiting for the next new version to come out. And we had a lot of fun on that server. We were just getting to Steel when everyone kind of hit their breaking point. They wanted to do something else. Is it just me? Is this music getting louder? Come on. It's not as loud for you because I have my game volume lowered, my capture volume's lowered, but for me, it's loud. Jimmy Smith when they live in the hole. Yeah, that part of it was because Bread Tales was hosted, it's hosted in Chicago, or I think it was in Seattle. It was either Central or Northwest. I forget which server I ended up picking. But yeah, trying to find a good server that can support people internationally is tough. Alright. Well, I may take you up on that depending on how things go. Because part of it is I don't want to, like, commit to it if there's not enough interest. And the group we had is pretty quiet. Just because everyone's doing their own thing. But I may put some feelers out. I may end up just closing that Discord server and then messaging people personally. Because ever since I left Monkey, there are plenty of folks that I just don't really talk to much anymore. Not because there's anything personal, I just needed to get away from the community. I was tired about hearing about Vanderlyn and dealing with shitheads all the time. I needed that away from me. Um, but I do still want to play with my friends. I like playing with my friends. I cherish my friends, even if I don't act like it all the time. I set out this year with the idea to do more things with my friends, and I didn't do it as much as I'd hoped. The year's still young, sure, but with everything going on everywhere at once, stressing people the fuck out, it certainly felt like I'm not the only person who's kind of just cloistered up. And I sure as hell don't hold it against anyone, that's for damn sure. Okay. I thought this was that was gonna be a stick. Why am I still using sticks? I could carve tool handles. Once I have flax, I can oil my tool handles too. I'm waiting on... Oh, good. We can do leather. And I can make leather strips for bindings if I wanted. Not bindings, but reinforcement. Or I could make backpacks. I need to do more hunting. Single monkey station game every 2 weeks. I don't know what it is. I don't have an interest in Space Station 13 as strongly as I used to anymore. I really got myself out of it. Like, not intentionally. It's just how it ended up going. Whimsy to holding on for dear life. That's fair. For me, I've had a pretty long effort in trying to be more patient, not just with other people, but with myself. Cut myself some slack for the things I don't particularly like about my normal MO. And I'm finding that in unlearning some of the expectations that other people kind of put on me as a kid and learning more about myself, what I care about, what I don't care about, I'm running into a wall with everything else going on. That is, you stop giving a shit about some of this after spending so long giving a shit about it. It starts to turn into like an identity crisis. It's like, wait, no, wait, this is wrong. No, it's not wrong. I decided it's fine. When it feels wrong. I think a more concrete example for me would be I'm actually trying to play video games less. Or at least when I play video games, I want to do it because I want to play video games, not because I'm trying to cope. And I'm also trying to not make video games my personality and my lifestyle, despite the fact that as an autistic person, this medium is what I fixated on at a young age. I went to school to learn to make video games, and I ended up not going in the industry because I didn't want to be exploited by it. And the more I try to distance myself from it, the more I feel like it pulls on me. If that makes sense. I'm not trying to get into like super heavy stuff about it right now, but it's been a hell of a year, to say the least. Still need to try Vanderlyn. I could go into a whole tirade over Vanderlyn, but I think out of respect for my friends, I may not do that. Because the problems I have with Vanderlyn are not with the people I care about. It's what Vanderlyn attracts. And I'm trying to be a little more fair in how I treat Vanderlyn's existence. I think that's a pretty it's a pretty measured way of saying that. No, I mean I gotta think first. Because speaking objectively, I mean I was against Vanderlyn existing in the first place. On the premise that I didn't want anything to do with what's the code base called again? Roguetown? I didn't want anything to do with Roguetown's history. Like, there were a lot of problems with it, and it's like, no matter how much cleaning up you do, you're not going to clean up the people who got used to that system. Right? I was really against it. I wanted nothing to do with it, and it came to be anyway. And lo and behold, it just wasn't for me. Yeah, of course I was indignant at first, but like I'm not so entitled that everything in Monkey Station has to be about me. I let it go. But then it just kept coming back. Just the stupidest shit. Horrible, genuinely terrible people coming in and having to hear about the grossest shit. Not all the time. Like, I'm not going to catastrophize it. It wasn't that common. But for it to keep happening, whether it's like pedophilia shit or sexual assault shit or the Nazi shit, that keeps happening still. Like, yeah, it's being curbed, but I'm so tired of being in a community where it's bringing people in that do this shit. If that makes sense. It's not that Monkey's a problem. It's that Vanderlyn existing is not... It's going to keep happening. People will make new accounts. People will come back from the dead, from the old servers, or they'll wash up from old servers. And it's like, I can't do that. I'm not sticking with it. I'm not doing it anymore. And at least for now, I've drawn my line in the sand. I'm not going back to Monkey as long as Vanderlyn exists, because I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't. Like, wholesale, just, all or nothing, not doing it. I don't want it. I like my friends from Monkey Station. And I like what Monkey Station stands for. Save for Vanderlyn. But it also brings the question, does Monkey stand for what it used to? Like, the real sticking point for me. The last straw on the camel's back for me. I made the mistake of looking into Vanderlyn's wiki to learn more about Vanderlyn, right? And I went to look at the Pantheon. And there's a god. I looked at this specific god because it was subject of a recent problem we had with people role-playing Nazi Germany. There's a god that's fervently against anything non-human, right? And I went to look at the details, and one of the mechanics in the game is that you gain favor with this god for using in-game slurs. And I already had some skeevy feelings about being in a community that wants to promote quote unquote mature fictional racism. But that's a line too far for me. Like, I can understand having a historical bias against a given race because of clashes between races. That's one thing. That is racism in a fictional setting that I can I'll say it. I can support that. That's fine. In context. It's not like I'm gonna fucking protest against reading To Kill a Mockingbird in school. That sort of shit. But it's not just, oh, this is a product of the environment you live in. It's you gain benefits and there's a mechanical advantage for a faction for being racist. It's like, it's promotion of racism, and that's where it turns bad for me. And like, sure, there are rules against, oh, it's not supposed to reflect any real life analogs. That's not possible because it's racism and it will. And you can't just use, Igor with some letter in front of it and that counts. It's like, people are gonna do it anyway, and yeah, you can ban them. It's gonna keep fucking happening. I don't know how you can reconcile having a zero tolerance policy on your server rules for bigotry if you've got a server in which there's a mechanical advantage to bigotry, even if it's in character. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is the thought process here? And of course, the thing is, for the people who made the code base to begin with, they didn't have those fucking rules because they were bigots and they wanted it to be funny and to promote it. And it's like, that's one of the reasons why I wanted nothing to do with it. And the fact that we still have it and the bigots keep coming and we're just so fervent about how, oh, we can hold up against it. We can just keep banning them. And it's like, what about the people who have to deal with this shit even when they're not participating in it? At what point do the consequences start to matter for the people who are actually affected by these things? And I can't, part of the reason I left Monkey is because I can't have that conversation with a number of people in Monkey. I can't. It won't go anywhere. When I had an argument about how it's not zero tolerance if you have tolerance for fictional bigotry, and two figureheads in charge told me, I disagree, and then said nothing else, I was done. Me leaving Monkey was just what came after that. What I walked into. I'm on a rant about Vanderlyn on Monkey Station and why I left Monkey Station over it. And it's not like it's a big deal. Like, the people who give a shit about me on my don't care whether I'm on Monkey or not. That's I'm not trying to garner attention with it or anything. Like, I'm not that full of myself. But it's a damn shame. I really like Monkey, but I can't deal with this shit, man. The god of marriage that's homophobic. Same-sex marriage is a message that's begrudgingly accepted. That's gross. That's not... God, it... Just... I'm trying to be... understanding, in a way. Because I recognize that for the people who are actually doing the work of doing the censorship, and I really don't want these slabs down here right now. Let's just break these. Put them on the sides, but I want to be able to walk back and forth. For the people who are actually doing the work, and people who are minorities, who are LGBTQ, and people who are, you know, different races, minorities, that aren't bothered by this, it's like, cool. Good for you. I'm not about to be gaslit into thinking that I'm overthinking this shit just because you're okay with it. But if you're okay with it, cool, sure. Do your thing. I'm only silently judging you. But that doesn't mean I don't miss it. Truly, if Vanderlyn were cleaned up and it didn't have those things, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, I wouldn't play it because I'm not a big combat-focused kind of person, but they can have their own shit. I don't care. What I care about is trying to remain friends with people who support things that are ideologically, or what's the word? Orthogonal? Opposed to me and the things I stand for. It's the concept, to me, it's like the concept of a silent majority, not in the political sense, but in the sense of people who are not affected by a problem, so they don't participate in it. And because there are so many people that aren't objecting to it and are remaining silent about it, the people perpetuating the problem are like, see, you're the one that's got the problem with it. No one else has an issue with it. And it's like, yeah, sure, okay, that doesn't make it not a problem, but yeah, it's just me. It sucks. Because I like the community that isn't full of shitheads and isn't perpetuating racism. But like I was saying before when I was talking about trying to get into new vintage story servers, trying to find a community that fits with me is such a pain when my stance on things and my tastes have changed. In trying to better myself and to give more of a shit about things that are important to me, I'm finding there's plenty of stuff I just like less. You know? Not that I'm getting embittered in my my ripe old age of 29, but it's just not worth the headache. The people are worth it. God, I miss playing shit with Ook, but I'm not going to support something I don't believe in. All we had to do was not be racist. One of the whole reasons I joined that server to become an admin was to help address the issue of people, you know, doing a racism. One of my first streams playing Monkey Station, I ended early because someone rolled up as AI and started a race war against moth people with the support of the captain. And it went on because there were no admins on to stop it until it was already in full swing. Okay, this is not the music for this. Sorry. Not the time. And to have gone from that point of support to what we have now is just disappointing. Genuinely. Like, it's not all bad, but it's kind of not great. It's really, really not. But, like I was saying before, for the people who will tolerate it, who can tolerate it, and choose to tolerate it, okay, sure. You can do it without me. I am not so important that you have to upend your community and its taste for fictional racism on my account. Doesn't make it any less disappointing, though. It does make me want to start something new, though. You know, in the void that is left, where Monkey Station was just a regular part of what I did day to day. I want to do new stuff. I have an opportunity. It's just a shame that everything else is going to shit. Still play Deadlock. Yeah. With Voices of the Void. I do want to play Voices of the Void. I do. I've got a very old version of it downloaded. I think it's like 2 years in a row now. I've been like, oh, I'll do it for Halloween. And it's like, it's too much of a game to reserve for just Halloween. And yeah, Biddy, I don't, that's how it seems to me. It's not just that people are using fictional racism as a spur of the moment thing. It feels like people are looking for an excuse to be fictionally racist. And I'm not gonna call anyone specifically out for it. I should have saved that fire clay. I wanted to make. Oh no, I've got stone bake oven. I don't need the fire clay ovens. The eagerness with which people are going to bat for fictional racism just bugs me. It's gross. And it's less of an issue on Monkey, on the main servers. And it gets addressed by admins. Like, it's not... I'm not trying to make things out like they're catastrophic and, you know, everything's horrible and everyone's just a disgusting bigot and I want nothing to do with it. It's just, there's enough fervor for it and enough interest in it that as a minority who likes to think himself conscientious, it just doesn't feel right. And in a time of my life where I'm trying to draw my lines in the sand, stake my claim, figure out what I care about and what I don't care about, in a year that is easily the most fucked up geopolitically, in media, in culture, all this shit, I don't have the patience for it anymore. Like, best of luck to you. If Vanderland never sees another bigot or racist ever again, and this entire rant is, you know, just put into the dirt, it's pointless, it doesn't happen, it's not a problem, cool. Not for me. It's just that simple. Might play on Monkey still, but I'm keeping my arms length away from Vanderland and all of that shit. And part of it, you know, like there's an air of like self-righteousness in this kind of discussion, which is why I took a second to think before I started rambling. But it it really smacks of that millennial tendency to cut everything off at the fucking knees. Like, oh, you disagree with me slightly on some political belief. Oh, we're not friends anymore. It's like, mm, it's got the same smell, but when it comes to, like human rights and treating people like people and not deifying discrimination on conditions that people can't control, I don't think it's the same. Even if I don't like doing it. I don't even know if what I'm saying makes much sense anymore. It's just kind of how I've internalized it at this point. It's like, it's uncomfortable. It's the thing I've been trying to avoid. But I feel compelled to because it's something I give a shit about. Yeah, no. It makes me want to put more effort into my community. Though, frankly speaking, I won't really grow the community if I don't put myself out there. And I don't really put myself out there. Still working that one out, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't want fame. I don't want wealth. I just would kind of like a tailored community to play video games with. I don't think that's too much to ask. I will say, it's kind of a disappointment because Monkey Station broke a streak for me. Most of my life, I have bounced from server to server. I had a curse for a while. That's what I called it. I would go from one gaming community to the next in a 2-year span. Because either the community was outgrowing me, or some drama would develop and the community would fall apart. And I didn't really retain many relationships with the people from those communities. It was just something I could get my socialization in, right? And it worked for what it was for a time. But it always came back to one of these things. Like a community outgrows me, or I feel like, oh, hey, it turns out these people are actually just genuinely awful people, and I don't want anything to do with them anymore, kind of situation. And I'd just step away. I wouldn't tolerate it. It was that millennial thing of cutting things off at the knees. I wouldn't even examine it or try and, like, debate things with people. I would just leave. I remember just before I went to Monkey Station, I had joined a group. It was this, like, raucous, foul-mouthed people playing Deep Rock Galactic while drunk. And I was like, oh man, this is great. These people are fun. And they invited me to play Final Fantasy XIV with them. Tabletop RPG. Cool. By the way, I have to finish catching up, but we should get together and watch the what I think is going to be the finale of the Amazing Digital Circus. That would be great. But yeah, we can catch up. You take it easy, Biddy. But anyway, long story short, they roped me into playing Final Fantasy XIV because I like healing. And then they didn't play with me. Like, I had to do all the leveling and story content myself. And then when I finally got up to a level to play with them, turns out it was like, no, we're not going to do the main story quest raid stuff with you. You got to buy the expansions. And I'm like, wait, what? They expected me to pay for all of the expansions through Final Fantasy XIV, a game I had not played before them. 8th being the one before. I think so. Maybe. But they expected me to pay for all of these things to have the privilege to play with them when they had not played with me for like 60 hours prior. I was like, fuck that. Yeah, Aylward. Basically, I joined a gaming group, and they were looking for a healer. And I was like, oh, I used to play WoW. I like healing, and they had me leveling by myself through the entire main story quest. And instead of, I thought I didn't know what the status of expansions and stuff was. They wanted me to keep doing it through the rest of the expansions. I was like, fuck that. And let's see, a couple months after that, I started playing Lobotomy Corporation. And one of Ook's mods, Blue Turbo, found me, liked watching me play it, and then pestered me non-stop to try Space Station 13. That's how I got into it. And Monkey Station became my gaming community for like 5 years. I became an admin. I was a moderator in the Discord after a while. It broke a pattern because the story I had with the Final Fantasy Deep Rock group had been repeated in some form or fashion multiple times before that. It sucked. It wasn't fun. I just wanted to find a community I felt like I could be a part of. And Monkey Station was it. And then Vanderlyn. And of course, I've already had that whole spiel about how I feel about Vanderlyn and what it means, what it supports, what it endorses. And now here I am again. I'm 6 years older, back where I started. Well, not quite back where I started. I've got plenty of friends from Monkey Station. I'd like to think I'm still friends with Ook, but truth be told, we don't talk a whole lot now. Kind of hit an impasse on the racism stuff. I don't know. Final Fantasy XIV felt... I'm the kind of person that can solo an MMO and have fun with it. I don't mind playing like World of Warcraft solo. Final Fantasy XIV solo was cool. I liked that it had a real interactive story compared to like World of Warcraft. What I didn't care for was the fact that I was playing a healer the entire time. I had fun doing like dungeons, doing instance content. Healing in Final Fantasy's great. I think Astrologian might be my favorite healer in any game I've ever played. White Mage was all right, but what were the three of them? You have White Mage, you have the precursor to Astrologian. Healers. The shielding one that played like a disciplinary scholar. That was it. Sage hadn't come out yet. I really, really liked playing Scholar. I like playing proactive healers. I play things like Discipline Priest in WoW, or Resto Druid. Things where you have to set up your heals over time or your shields in advance, and you work on having really high cooldown reactionary heals and shields. As opposed to like White Mage, which has really consistent reactionary healing. They take damage, you heal it back off. I like Scholar and Astrologian way more, and I like the mini game with the cards for Astrologian. But if I'm going to play solo content, I'm going to play something like this. I'm going to play something like this where I can just sit back and yap and quarry, and then here in a second, while my fire clay bricks fire, I'm gonna build stuff. Although I think uh I'm gonna take a quick break here in a second, get some water because I've been talking nonstop. And it's that usual hourly break for Twitch. We got a temporal storm coming up too, which is not fantastic. Hell, I would play Final Fantasy 14 solo if I just had someone to talk to in the moment. Like, even if they're not like playing, just someone in the room. No, my carrots. Fuck. Oh, I didn't realize it was getting so hot. It's the end of May. Why is it so hot? I'm not even that far south. I mean, I kind of am. It's only 800 blocks. It's barely farther south than I was. It's not even June. My carrots are going to die in the heat. It doesn't really matter because I wouldn't have them for several weeks anyway, and they would die, if not now, later. Really just kind of waiting on the flax, the soybeans, and my spelt. But yeah, my poor carrots. Of course, I made the smart decision to not plant my cabbages, but my cabbages have a higher heat tolerance than my carrots. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. I have completely lost where I was gonna start before the rant. It went from, oh, I'm not gonna rant about Vanderland to 45 minutes later. Anyway, I'm gonna be right back. That's not what I meant to hit. I'm gonna get a drink. And when we come back, we're going to hear the doldrums of the deep. And actually, during my break, we're probably going to get the warning about the temporal storm. But anyway, I'll be right back. For those of you who support the stream and aren't about to be blasted in the face with ads, thank you for your support. For those of you who are, please feel free. Mute your tab, change your tab, mute your phone, change whatever you got to do. I'll be back in a few minutes. You won't miss anything. See you in a bit. And thank you for listening. All right, we are back. You know what I realized in that little break? I've done it again. I think this is like the third time. I pick Vintage Story up and I start yapping. And I get like existential and wistful and shit. I don't know what it is about Vintage Story. It just really gets my brain going. Like, I have a chance to sit back and really get out what's in my head. Whether anyone gives a shit about it or not is anyone's guess. But I like doing it. Also, one of the things I want to do... I'm getting building material right now, but I'm firing that fire clay. I want bloomeries so I can make glass, because I'd like to make some lanterns. I don't... Again, another vintage save where I don't have any bees, but I've got a commodities trader to my southwest out here, and I bought some candles from them. I guess I could just go mining quartz and use clear quartz, but I got some candles here. I want to make some lanterns. But for right now, gosh, my gamma is so low, you probably can't even see a whole lot while I'm working out here. And I can't hold my torches out because I have to use both hands for this. But no, I got myself monologuing again in Vintage Story. The last time I did it, it inspired me to make a pretty nice YouTube video. Trying to be encouraging about doing the thing you give a shit about. I made that video, and then I didn't make any other videos. Because it's not that I wanted to start a habit of making videos. I just wanted to talk. That's what it really comes down to, is I just wanted to yap. That is another thing, though, that I have been thinking about this year. It's kind of I guess it's kind of a self-esteem thing, is I've never really considered doing anything like a podcast or like regular YouTube videos or anything like that, because anyone can have an opinion. And just because you have an opinion doesn't mean that people are going to find it meaningful. And I think I've kind of had the whole situation backwards, where it's like, instead of trying to approach people with an opinion because you think they'll give a shit about it, it's more like putting your opinion out there so that it will, hopefully, you try to reach the people for whom it lines up with what they give a shit about. I think I've had it backwards for a while. And of course, what comes with that sort of thing, if you don't have particularly high self-esteem, is the constant nagging thought that you're just screaming into a void and being ignored. But it doesn't bother me as much these days, because I look at the people running the country, running social media, people who are in constant light of everyday attention, and I think it could be worse. I could be worse. It really bites into the imposter syndrome when you see people go up and say the most awful, stupidest shit you've ever heard. And in a way, it's almost reassuring. It's like, oh, I could do worse. What's the harm? But the difference being, I suppose, I like yapping during Vintage Story. Sometimes I just gotta get shit out. It's like a personal therapy session that people just kind of sit in on, and I don't have a therapist. It's literally, from the perspective of my cats, it's me talking to an empty room to no one they have ever seen or will ever see. It's all weird, honestly. Versus doing something with it. Doing the talking, doing the thinking, and then actually doing something. That's the tough bit right there. I don't know. Sessions like this, to me, feel like a checkpoint. Taking stock of things in my head, if that makes sense. It probably makes sense. There is just something I enjoy about streams like this. Let's see. Right now, I'm gathering up cobblestone so that I can start working on this area. What I want to do, I can't break the blocks surrounding these yet. I don't want to risk the fireplace stopping. I'd kind of like to work during daylight hours, but I think if I sleep, it's just going to start the temporal storm. Or we'll hear the warning at least. There it is. The warning is fine. It's when everything gets warbly that we gotta worry about it. 2, Okay. Side of the Weezer room. Yeah, exactly. That's where they took that shepherd tone. I thought that was so cool when they showed it off in the teaser video for it. Okay. Now, the thing is, what I usually end up doing when I make builds is I start with the floor print and then I try to fit everything into it. I think this time I'm just going to try and make space for the stuff I care about and then build the room around it. Too tired to care. All right. I want the walls here to be glass. I may extend this out. Do glass here? I'm gonna have to scoot the pit over, I think. But I don't even have the glass right now. So we've got the pit kilns here. I kind of want to keep the smithy on this side. I want a charcoal pit, and I want a beehive kiln. A beehive kiln is going to be, what, 5 blocks wide? Because it's a 3x3x3 space inside. If I set space for that side, it'll be here. Mark this out. Is that right? Hang on. The interior volume of the kiln is 3x3x3. It is a 5x5. That is... I never really internalized how big these damn things are. Plus, it's going to be pretty tall, too. Because I think what we'll do... I'll lay the floor out. I have to establish where the fuel's going to go. Which will be like... here. And then we can chisel out some space for that. It's actually going to be a little bit larger than this because I need the kiln to fit over it. Nah, you know what? I can just... I wanted a wall here. I think we'll do this a little bigger, actually. Because I want a retaining wall for the exterior. And I can put glass here so you can see how much fuel is remaining. But it's got to be... I want a block with space so I can get in. Reality stabilizers. Actually, you know what? We'll just leave this. This is fine. But the block is going to have to go here. And then we can do the chiseled retaining blocks along the side. So then we have space here. My beehive kilns in the past have all been all inside of caves or underground. So I'm not used to building their exteriors when I don't even have enough material for it. Because I don't. Let's go ahead and put this away so I can pick up all this extra sand. And I'm going to do my usual thing when we have temporal storms. I'm just going to do some clay napping and some yapping while the storm passes. I do want to spice up some of the materials used in the buildings, though, so it's not just all mono material. I suppose if I made some mortar, I could do bricks. But I really like the cobblestone look, man. Because what I'll do is I'll do a layer of glass along the sides. We'll have our entrance here. Kiln will go above this. There'll be gratings around this level. You know what? I might as well do the retaining walls now, since I've got time to kill. Let's grab... Where's my chisel? No, my regular chisel's inside. There you are. And then we'll just cut this out. Oh, let's break the inner ones too. I mean, I could just leave it like that, but I think finishing it off proper will be nice. Then I have to do it one more time. Actually, no, we can fit in this. Yeah, that's good. This way, I can actually reach the back. Now, I could just leave this backspace empty if I really wanted. I wouldn't have to worry. Is that wise? I don't know about that. I think filling it in is just fine. And one more. Okay. So then we have the fuel that'll fit in there. I kind of... You know what? Let's... Oh, I hate that this is monomaterial. It looks gross. Oh, wait. No, that's not where that block needs to go. It needs to go there. Oh, no, I did want to block underneath it because I wanted the border. Well, I goofed. I goofed twice. There we go. That's the ticket. I mean, it makes sense for a building to have... It's with such high heat applications, it's made of stone. But I think I'm going to do straight stone or polished stone for the... Oh, wait, diamond tiles exist. How do I make those? Ah, I need mortar. Let's do that. I want to do diamond tiles for the floor. I think that'll be nice. Also, I'm going to reclaim some of this cobblestone since we're not actually doing the entire path on the outside. Okay, so I need a barrel. Oh, I should probably put some of this crap away. Grab a barrel. I added a mod that simplifies the mortar recipe because I don't like the weird ratio it normally has. Come on. There we go. So it's just 1 sand to 1 slaked lime. Oh, but the slaked lime recipe still sucks. It's 1 to 4. Okay. So we have to grind to make the lime. And then we have 1 part water to the quick lime. Actually, I cook that too. How much do I have on hand? I have 16. Oh, whoops. I didn't realize I had some bones in there. So this is 16. So we need 4 liters of water. Oh, shoot. That's right. I don't have a spare bowl. Okay. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, I gotta take my torches off my bar because I keep thinking that's about to be the start of the warning. Fuck. That's the start of the warning. And then the train gets all wibbly woobly. Well, let me grab my snack. I'll bring the barrel inside. Okay. I should be safe in here. And in the case that I'm not, I still have my oak shield with me. My water. Let's get on that grind, and then we'll do some clay stuff. So I'm thinking we'll make mortar. We make the diamond tiles. Use those for the floor inside things. Oh, and I didn't mention it before, but I'm thinking this big hill that's southeast of my house right now, I'm gonna build something big. I don't ever build anything big in Vintage Story, because I usually let my attention span wander. I get distracted by stuff, or I burn myself out, or I switch games or whatever. It might be nice to make something actually kinda nice for once. Instead of just making this save a save specifically for stream, just build shit and use stream to show things off and also to yap. Let's see, there's a tier 2, a tier 3, there's some rough drifters in there. Oh, I didn't bring enough servings of food. That doesn't matter. That's fine. That's hardly an inconvenience. Okay, so we have the quicklime. We throw that in the barrel. Doesn't require any mixing. And mortar, we just throw in sand. Well, I've got plenty of sand now. While I'm at it, I can also make my... Jesus Christ. Someone is walking outside and now my neighbor's dog is losing its fucking mind. I should probably save some of these stones. Nah. Why would I do that? I can always get more. There's an entire mountainside at my disposal. Okay, so I've got 2 crates of Crocs. I just made some storage vessels. You know what? Maybe I'll do shingles. I installed this pottery wheel mod. It makes things a little easier, but also kind of not... It's not as fast as, like, high-level X skills napping. But I don't have to worry about gaps in layers. And at least for the shingles, it's really fast. So I can put some of these into fire while I go off to mine for quartz. Also waiting on that quicklime behind me to finish cooking, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same problem with the flint. Oh no, it is. Yeah, it's gotta... Oh, are you kidding me? Did I leave the coal outside? I left the coal outside. Ah, no. And I think the peat's out there too. Well. Wait, what temperature does regular firewood burn? 700. Well, shoot. I'm probably gonna die if I try to open this up, because there's a lot of stuff out here. But I bet if I ladder my way out, I could grab some of the peat. Yeah, X-Skills pottery's great. Gosh, I hope there's nothing on top of my house. Okay, I need you, Bowtorn, to fuck off so I can get my peat. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh no! The thing I said was gonna happen is happening! Ouch! Fuck off! So I just realized I made a staircase up. Okay, get the fucking clay. Or peat, sorry. There we go. Okay, we're good. It's all fine. We're okay. I think the X-Skills dev is working. Oh, shoot. My damn campfire is using the really long-burning fuel. Man. That's fine. It's fine. I got what I needed. It'll get cooking soon. Just keep making your pottery man. Oh yeah, Aylward, I don't know if you saw it earlier. I managed, I got an update for this mod that actually provides graphics for the X-Skill stuff and makes it look like proper skill trees. It's pretty cool. It also plays a noise that startles me every time I level up. But there's like icons, and it looks cool. It's pretty solid. I forget what it's called. What was it? I don't remember where to find the mods. Okay, app data, vintage story probably? Yeah, vintage story data, mods. I gotta try and remember which one this is. It's called X Skills Gilded, is what it's called. But it's very cool. I like it a lot. It's a lot better than just this. I mean, this is what I'm used to, sure, but I like it more. It's a more visual way of seeing your skills. Even if it is new to me and it's kind of weird and it doesn't quite mesh with my brain yet. Like, a lot of the time I'll level up and I'll find myself hitting O anyway. Hey, did I close my door? I did close my door. Nice. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, this is the thing I was talking about that's getting fixed in the new update, is the pit resetting its temperature. Not going to be a problem. I will say, though, the cool thing about the pottery wheel is that you can still do the hold right-click Alt-Tab trick for it to keep doing stuff for you while you don't have your hands on it. So, like, if I've got a video up on the side, I can actually watch my second monitor content while I'm doing pottery. That's another thing, is I am trying to de-YouTube myself. I've got this plugin for my browser, right? Where I give myself basically an hour of social media time during the day, unless it's messaging like my mom or someone on Facebook. Where it like puts up a notification. It's like, how long do you want to be on this website? And you put it in. And then when it's done, it puts the pop-up and it blocks all your stuff and it blocks your clicks. I've been using it for like 240 days now. I'm getting close to a year. But I haven't used it for YouTube. And I've realized, like, if you doom scroll for so long, of course. No. No, not quite. That is funny, though. But I didn't want to admit it, but part of my media addiction involves YouTube. Won't you bastards despawn already? Come on. Storm just ended like 10 seconds ago. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. But I've started... How do I phrase this in a way that doesn't break terms of service? I don't give a shit. I've been downloading the stuff that I usually listen to for YouTube and supporting artists where I can find the opportunity, so that I can cut YouTube out of my daily consumption habit. To the point where I've used a different plugin. Now when I pull up YouTube, it doesn't show any recommendations. I've turned that off. And when you watch a video, there are no recommendations on the side or at the end of the video. Literally, I watch YouTube if I have something in mind I want to watch, or if I'm looking for something, or if I'm watching channels I'm subscribed to. Other than that, don't use it. And it sucks. Like, it feels like actually curbing an addiction. Is what you say with that. Yeah, it's a plugin. It's called Social Focus. I use it on Mozilla. I don't know what browser you use. But yeah, it's called Social Focus Hide Distractions, and it works on a bunch of sites. Yeah. It's not like an official thing. It's an add-on for your browser. There is no way YouTube would ever make something like that. I also don't get ads on YouTube, but that's because I use premium. But that's another thing, is I want... Premium keeps going up, and for a time I thought it was worth my money because I was on work trips regularly, and I didn't want to have to keep my phone unlocked to listen to my music. And then I realized it's like, I could just use an MP3 player. I literally brought back... I bought like a $6 aux cable, because I have Bluetooth headphones. I bought a $6 aux cable, and I pulled out my old MP3 player from when I was like 16 that I used all the way through college until I got a smartphone for the first time. I pulled that out, brought it back from the dead, and I've loaded like 8 gig of music onto it, just about. Yeah, I can only imagine what the YouTube. Would you fuck off? Would you just get out of here? Despawned? Or waiting to kill me? Despawned. Okay, cool. Great. Love it. I've lost my train of thought at yelling at a tier 3 drifter. Can't even. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're using mobile, you have to have YouTube Premium to be able to change to another application or to lock your phone. And for a while, I thought that was worthwhile. But that was also when I was getting it for like, I was getting a discount, I think. It was like $3 a month or something like that. And no, not worth it now. Like, it's so, it's awful. It's a quality of life feature, and it's locked behind a paywall, and it fucking sucks. But YouTube's gotta make its money somehow. But my solution now is to just stop fucking using YouTube. I'm tired of the media culture we're in now. And I'm ready to put my money where my mouth is and actually just fucking unplug. Just say, nope, not for me. I'm good. If Facebook weren't my main way of keeping contact with the people that don't live physically by me anymore, I'd probably have gotten off of it too. Like, I don't want to completely unplug, because the problem is I don't live near my old friends anymore. And I'm not... I'm not ready to go in the real world and make friends again. It's not completely untrue, but I'm being a little dramatic. Okay. Look at these. No! Get these fired. Oh, I put... Need to get more sticks. But especially with companies changing policies, like, if I had a Discord solution that were easy for me to set up and not a pain in the ass to get used to, if I weren't so entrenched in Discord, I would be off it. I do not support this constant facial recognition shit that's being deployed. It's like, oh, it's for saving the kids, but we're not prosecuting the people in power that are assaulting kids. Anyway, I don't like the invasion of privacy. I don't think big companies need that information from us. And for it to have happened to Discord, too, is just a damn shame. Like, I get it. There are countries putting out legislation that kind of force their hand. I get it. It doesn't mean I like it or support it, but I get it. There's very much just a strong desire to do shit myself these days. But I'm gonna be completely honest. It's hard. It's really fucking hard. Like, I've put the web app for streaming stuff on hold. Not because the streaming part's hard. I'm just trying to get account authorization. That shit's hard. Because, like, I could just make a web app that's just a simple front for me streaming things through Cloudflare. And Cloudflare has content distribution servers all over the world. It wouldn't be too much of a different experience than Twitch, as far as I can tell. And it's just my own stuff. And I have a chat app that I'm looking at integrating, and it's already built. It's just getting it displayed and getting the room made. But I'm trying to do account stuff from scratch, and this shit's hard. I'm a front end developer, right? But it's full stack work, and I'm having to learn an entirely new trade to make this stuff work. And I can see why Twitch has been in the red its entire existence. There's so much work that goes into this, and they make like no money off of it. They don't make nearly enough for what has to go into it. And also, I wanted to go out and mine quartz, but now it's almost nighttime. Oh, right. Well, we get this quicklime, get the mortar. I wanted to make our bloomeries. Do I want to just make 8 bloomeries? Do I need 8 bloomeries? I don't need 8 bloomeries, but I kind of want 8 bloomeries. Oh, that came out to exactly 8 lids. Very nice. Okay. And then we can put these along the side here. I guess I only needed to do 6. It was going to be 6 aside. Oh, no, because we have the pillars. That's 8. Nice. But yeah, I've really spent this year so far and part of last year trying to extricate myself from all of this nonsense. And it turns out social media works very well because it's designed to work well. And it's really hard to get yourself out of it once you've built the dependence on it. Not like addiction dependence, but like your social connection with the people you care about dependence. Shit's hard. Alright, I need my hammer and my chisel. Hammer and my chisel's inside. Still, though, I am strongly considering saying, hey, if you still want to be in the community, we're going to do stuff over on this service. And hopefully it doesn't go wrong this time. Because self-hosting's just not an option for me right now. I don't have a lot of money. I really don't. See the confection. Oh, jeez. There we go. That looks nice. I like that. Still needs something else. I don't know what yet. But it'll do for now. I'm gonna have a sleep. I'm gonna go mine some quartz so that I can get some glass fired. Did I? Oh, I never made the charcoal pit either. How much charcoal do I have? 13! Shit. I'll have to go mining for coal too, because I don't have time to make charcoal. Excuse me, this parable is past its expiry date. Hi, Akumi. I don't know how long you've been here, if you've been lurking or not. You missed it. I was, it's a vintage story. I had a ramble about Vanderlyn and the state of Monkey. Long story short, I miss my friends, but I don't want to be in a community that supports a game that promotes fictional racism, and people's fervor for fictional racism puts me off. So I'm not going back until it changes. I spent 45 minutes in what could have been summarized in 2 sentences. I don't know what it is. Vintage Story just gets me like really wistful and thoughtful about things. But at least this time, it's not me just pissing and moaning about the state of the industry and culture. Well, actually, no, it's kind of been a little bit about that, but it's been more about like media addiction and how things have changed in the broader culture and trying to separate myself from it. Yeah, I guess it's more or less the same thing. It's just not my personal stuff anymore. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I'm taking strides to use social media less, um, to some success. It's slow going. Okay, no creepy crawlies in here. Cool. Um, I want to make lanterns. I don't know if I'm going to do an extra long stream tonight or not. I probably won't, but I'm getting stuff prepared for lanterns. But it started out as just me talking about I kind of lost the plot when I actually started the ramble. But it's not just that Vanderlyn's not for me, it's that I really looked into it and I was against Vanderlyn from the start because I didn't want anything to do with its history and I didn't want to be drawing the people from Roguetown to me, to us as a community. And the tipping point for me was the god that you literally develop favor with by using in-game slurs, and they get more powerful when people use in-game slurs. It's like, no, that's actually just kind of gross. Can we not? And the only reason I looked into it was because there was yet again another group of people doing Nazi Germany roleplay in favor of this specific god that doesn't like inhuman beings. And I was like, oh, I can't. Is it really that bad? Yeah, it's really that bad, actually. And I've clashed with people in the Monkey Station community before about fictional racism in just regular Space Station 13. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be exposed to it. And when I would tell people about that, they would act like I'm the weird one, not wanting to experience in a fictional setting what I already experience in real life because I'm a fucking minority. And I tolerated it for a while, but that's just a measure too far. Oh shit, there's gold in this quartz. Wait, hang on. Hang on, I think I may actually do this stream a little bit longer because I want to yap about other stuff, but also I want to play some more because I want to get this gold. Because gold, if I can get enough for a plate, means I get a brighter lantern. Oh, these are medium and rich pieces too. Wow. Who knew there was gold just sitting under my feet? Hang on, where's my... Yeah, let me head back home real quick and grab my prospecting pick. Because this quartz patch is pretty big, actually. If I get a rich gold reading, I might just spend another hour getting gold and quartz and doing some more building on the base. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going to do it on or off stream anyway, but it would be kind of nice. But yeah, also the grimdark fantasy RP aspect it's not my taste. I'm a very sci-fi kind of guy. If we had like Cyberpunk Space Station 13, oh my gosh, that'd be sick. But fantasy is not quite to my taste. High gold. Wow. 0.23 parts per mil. That's really good. Like, that's incredibly good, actually. Damn binding. I like political intrigue in fantasy, but it's Space Station 13. It's gonna be about, like, violence and shit. And that's just how it goes. I like Space Station 13 because it's got room for whimsy. But if it's going to be a grim, dark environment, it's like, that's not, yeah, no, that's not for me. But yeah, long story short, I am back where I was 6 years ago, where I want to break into a new gaming community. I like being in gaming communities. I like contributing to groups that I feel like I belong to. But I don't know if you've seen, like, the media and internet culture the last few years. Shit's fucked. And I just have a lot less patience than I used to. I try very hard not to follow the millennial approach of cutting everything off at the knees. But some of this shit, some of these people are just not worth the headache, man. They're just not. And so you're left wondering, what now? Do we have any gold nearby? 1 block away, it said. Is it really? I don't believe you, unless you count quartz as 1 block away. Ah, you count quartz. Man. Yeah, because if I set this to node search, it's going to tell me huge quartz. Yeah, native golden quartz, very large amount. Okay. That's fine. And borax I don't need. This whole desert's full of borax, and you only need it in very small amounts. I'm kind of tempted to just dig all the sand up out of the top so I don't have to light this. But that's just going to make it take longer. How much gold do I have? 165. I have enough for 1 plate. Excuse me. Gosh. My allergies have been kicking up. Because we went from 60 to 70 degree temps and tornado warnings to 20 degrees and fucking snow in a day. Like, literally, yesterday morning, 70 degrees. Yesterday evening, snow. And it has messed up my breathing quality like no one's business. I don't know why. I don't know how. I will say, though, on the topic of gaming communities, I'm really, really tempted to, on the next major update, I want to start a Breadbox Vintage Story server. What I would really like is, instead of everyone living in the same place, I think it'd be really fun if we had separate areas and we trade with each other. But that's really just one base that's really spread out. Yeah, we had hail too. Also, hi-oh. Funny enough, what I was just talking about might be relevant to you. The next major update for Vintage Story is on the horizon. And it's not going to be anything soon. But if it comes up and I decide to do another community server, there is an open invitation for you if that is something you would still be interested in. Me, I couldn't wait. The addiction called to me, and I just started doing Vintage Story now. See, me, I went on a binge of World of Warcraft for like 3 weeks while I was sick. That was enough. That's all I needed. Some of the changes they're doing are stuff we had in mods. They're fixing the fire pits, finally. And I don't have the better fire pit mod, so we encountered on stream why fire pits suck right now, where they reset the temperature. Place Fest for combat in the first place. Yeah. My ideal with Vintage Story is founding a small community and then taking up a niche. In the last server I played in with Mo and a couple other people, before there was a sort of falling out because someone wouldn't fucking talk to me and treat me like a person. I was the blacksmith. I did mining and I did blacksmithing. That was it. And it was so fascinating to see the base evolve as everyone's doing their thing. You're farmer, you have your miner, you've got your blacksmith, you've got whatever jobs. The very first server I ever played on, I was a town potter. It was great. And I want that again. God, I want that again so bad. It's so much fun. But I gotta be social. It's just a real tragedy. I gotta associate with people and be vulnerable. Where the hell did my coal go? I just mined some. There it is. There we go. Get that quartz cooking. I should probably get some... No, I've got stuff. Do I want to do a copper lantern? Or do I want to do like a molybdecalcos lantern? This molybdecalcos is... It's only 12% copper. I don't have enough lead to actually pull that off unless I break the ingots down. I'll do... I love the look of molybdecalcos, though. It looks so cool. So, hi, Milk. It's good to see you. You know what? Fuck it. I'll break a lead ingot or two. And we'll do molybdecalcos. I'll set that to alloy. We'll pour it, and then I'm going to take another quick break. I think we'll do a longer stream today. Because what I'd be doing after this is making dinner and then playing Vintage Story anyway. There we go. I really should leave this out here. No, because if I leave it out there, I'm going to forget where it's at. This is the whole reason I was doing this stuff today, is I wanted to figure out base placement stuff. Okay, so we're going to need 10%. It's gonna be like 2 pieces of copper? Nah. 4 pieces of copper. There we go. 200 units of molybdenum. But that only makes 1 plate. I need 2 plates, right? No, it's 2 glass, 1 plate, 1 candle. I made a voxel model of the Syndicate hard suit. Nice. Well, that's pretty manageable given that you've already got pixel art to work with. Sounds nice. Okay, what am I waiting on? But the firing pit area, my shingles are finished, but I'm not doing roofing yet. This will be where the beehive kiln goes. We need to light our bloomeries. That won't be ready till nighttime, though. It'll be after our next sleep. I could always chisel off the top of our coal mine and off the top of our quartz mine if I wanted. Not too worried about that just yet. I'll let this molybdenum cook. We already made our mortar. We're waiting another day and a half on the hides. I don't even know if this is going to be enough leather for 1 backpack. It might not. Trying to think, what are we doing next? I'm getting a lantern. I kind of want to go mine for sphalerite so I can make torch holders. Because it's a little expensive to just be buying all my candles, but I'm not going constantly hunting for bees like I did last time. At the same time, though, I have the real smoke mod enabled for some reason, so having a base that's chock full of smoke all the time, carbon monoxide, kind of dangerous. I mean, if it's outdoors, it's fine, but eventually I want to make like a... I keep thinking it's going to be a castle, but I don't know about that. Oh, you didn't restock your candles. But I do have some of this stuff on hand. You sell sulfur. Wait, why is your linen priced differently? What is wrong with you? What do I need sulfuric acid for again? It's the sturdy leather. That's it. You can do it for stability flasks, blasting powder. You could make some ore bombs for iron mining, because I know where iron is. For poultices. How expensive is that? It's 8 pieces for 5 gears. Are you insane? Another block game by the name of Lucid Blocks released some days ago. I did not. I know of... Oh, God. No, I can't remember the names of them. There was the block game that started off as a Minecraft server and then turned into its own game that went through development hell for like 12 years. That came out a couple months ago. Then there was... I want to say it's like called Alaria or something. It's a voxel game that got hit by an AI-generated DMCA takedown by Microsoft just as its demo was coming out, and it got completely shot into the fucking dirt. Alameria. And yeah, the other one was Hightail. That's right. I know about them, but I haven't really interacted with them at all. But yeah, the Alumeria one got me riled up when I first heard about it. I was more disappointed than anything. I was just not surprised, but it was some real bullshit. And yeah, that's another thing. Way back after Windows 10 support ended, it was an impulse buy, but I was going to be doing it anyway. I got a 5 terabyte drive on a sale, and then I installed Linux on it. But I don't use it regularly because I haven't gotten my stream setup over to it because I have all of this set. I have all this shit, all these little pieces of things for my stream, and you wouldn't know it because I don't have a lot for my stream. But like my notifications and my scripts and my ad break stuff and the stuff with Sammy and all this, my stream deck, all of that setup. And I don't want to have to do it again. But at the same time, I would love to just completely remove myself from Windows. That would be great. Talking about things in the tech sector that we don't like and don't want to support anymore. There's that. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to do an extended stream tonight because I took a break last week because my energy was low. But I've got energy today and I have a need to yap. So we're going to do that. I'm going to be right back. You know how this goes. Mute your tab, change your tab, whatever you got to do. I don't care. I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you for sticking around. All right, we are back. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, fuck Microsoft. You know, I'm not going completely off the deep end and just saying I'm not ever going to use anyone's services again. I'm just going to make shit myself. But there's a small part of me that's like, you know what? All those people who were like oohing and ahhing and trying so hard to convince me to convert to Linux way, way, way back in the day. Yeah, they were a little bit off. They were a little weird, but I get it. I absolutely get it now. All right, so there's our gold. Can I? Okay, no. So you can't forge gold cold. I guess that makes sense. Can I mix ingot types on the forge? I can't. That's dumb. You're dumb. That's bad. Thankfully, the working temperatures for these is pretty low. All right. So we'll do Molybdecalcos lantern with a gold plate. It should be very bright and it should look very nice. I actually found this like oil lamp my first day. I found it in that tower I mentioned before. Yeah, we haven't had a march like this in a while. I mean, fool I was yesterday thinking, oh, I'll take picture of these Bradford pear petals outside because they look like snow. And then I went outside and I saw there were no petals on the ground and it was just fucking snow. I've lived in this state my entire life. We do this every spring and I fall for it every time. Where it's like, oh man, it's spring. No, it's fucking not. You're in for winter too, motherfucker. Every time. Happens every single time. Oh, right, I can't stand on those. I'm going to suffocate. I also have stuff cooking. Alright, where's my hammer? But yeah, after this and we get the lantern, I want to... No. I want to go mine some zinc, because I want to make some torch holders for the base. It doesn't rain commonly here. So even outside, it would be nice to have some torches around. But yeah, I was talking earlier about the app I was working on. I wanted to do my own streaming app. I had the technologies picked out and everything, and I was gonna figure out how to do it. And oh my gosh, I hate full stack work so much. It's not even that it's bad, it's just that it's like brand new to me, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it's also worth mentioning that instead of doing what everyone did in ye olden days and just doing like a username, password, email kind of account system, I'm trying to use some fancy schmancy web auth system that lets you bind your devices to an account, but it doesn't take passwords. It doesn't need to know anything about you. It just saves a public key on your phone, or sorry, a private key on your device that your device keeps secret using your native login stuff. It's not invasive or anything. And it gives a public key to the server, and the server uses that public key when you go to log in to verify you are you. And it's really cool. And I've spent like 2 months trying to figure this damn process out because no one seems to have. They've done it before, but everyone who's done it before knows what the fuck they're doing. And no one thought, hey, maybe we should make like a guide or a tutorial on how to use this. There's documentation, and it just uses code snippets saying, hey, here's the syntax, and here's what this syntax looks like. But there's nothing that even remotely approaches what like a production environment would look like. It's all like in singular files, in singular scripts, and I'm just having a really hard time applying it to my use case. Doesn't make it bad, just makes it hard. It's the first time I've really had to stretch my brain for a coding project, and that's good. But it's also with a technology that doesn't make much sense to me and is not very well documented, which is not good. It's not good for motivation. It's not good for momentum. I'm doing my level best to stick to it, but it comes in fits and bursts. It's fun. I do enjoy like learning, but oh my gosh, full stack development when you don't have any proper education on how this shit works, it's for the birds. It's just so aggravating. I have been a web developer my entire professional career. I've never wanted to be a web developer at any point in my career. It's just what I got, and it's what I'm good at now. But still, when I see the things that Twitch does, and the things that YouTube does, and the things that Google and Microsoft and Facebook and all these tech, uh, what's the term, fiefdoms do, now that billions of people are on their platforms and have integrated their everyday life with them, when I see them do the most heinous shit they've been doing this year, it is still motivation to try and do something for myself. Even if it sucks, even if I actually make it and I pitch it to the community, it's like, hey, there's this platform. You can use it for free for now, because I can hardly afford to pay for it already. While it's small, you can use it for free. I've built this whole experience myself, and it's completely ad-free. If I make it, and then everyone's like, nah, fuck this, it'll still be worth it. And hell, if no one uses it, I can just stop paying for it. But it's hard. Oh my gosh, dude. It's different, and it's difficult, and it's character building, and I hate it. I mean, that's really how the software development career kind of struck me. I changed out of the music industry on a whim for coding because I thought it would help me learn how to make games. It felt like pulling teeth the entire way up. And then get to the point where it's like, hey, you can start applying for jobs. Also, these companies are predatory and exploitative, and you won't even get paid that well anyway, unless you're at the top. Man, it's a life well spent. Grab my glass. That glass is still really hot, and I'm about to do something you would never do in real life. Oh, but quenching glass. I remember the first time someone suggested me to do that in playing Vintage Story. I was like, what? No, are you crazy? You don't quench glass. Everything else in this game has been realistic up to this point. Lo and behold. Okay, so Ellipticalcos, gold, candle, glass. No, I gotta do glass slabs, don't I? How many molten window panes into the ocean? There we go. There's my lantern. Oh, it looks really pretty. I remember the silver one that Camriod made for me on Candor. I like this. I like the gold. It's very nice. That's a nice warm light. And we're getting car batteries to quench those in the ocean. Oh my gosh. There's a Facebook group that keeps, or a Facebook page that keeps getting recommended to me, and it's thinly veiled posts about throwing car batteries in the ocean because their last page got banned for being overt about it. And if you were scrolling by it and you didn't read it, you wouldn't really be able to pick it out. But when you read it long enough, it's like, wait, what is this about? Like, there was one, it was about a dating profile. And the last line ends in taking long walks on the beach so you can throw me in the ocean. Because up to that point, it had sounded like a car. It's like, no, it's a car battery. And the dedication to this shitposting page about throwing car batteries in the ocean. That's the social media I want. I don't want ads for generative AI bullshit. I want to see people making really funny posts about extremely irresponsible behavior for fun. And of course, a crazier man might say, I'll just make my own social media platform. To which I would say, moderation. The laws and regulations around content moderation are enough to drive a grown man insane. For good reason, sure. But holy fuck, dude. If you ever actually, like, take a moment, don't, like, read the terms of service for platforms. Look at laws that mandate content platforms moderation. Like, surprisingly sparse in some areas, and in others, there's, like, extremely stiff, severe punishments for non-compliance. It's crazy. Every time a character contorts, it plays a bone-breaking sound. When you have to walk, it's just floppy ragdolling or It's just garbled voice lines as they slide across the floor. That's quality media right there. I don't know, man. I'm not about to get into some, like, boomerism, wistful, I miss the old days kind of stuff, but it's kind of hard not to when modern media is just kind of a hellscape at this point. Like, I'm not old. Well, I'm old enough. I was there for the transition into the internet era as a child. Damn, man. Not my brothers. My brothers were not old enough to grow up in the YouTube poop era. And that breaks my heart. I mean, there are still people who do it now, but I mean, save for the stereotypical slur-filled 2009 humor, things were different. And now that like 20% of YouTube is AI slop, funny enough, they have their own, but at least but it's not homegrown. Yeah, back then you wondered if they used crack. Nowadays you wonder if they used AI. And it pisses me off, especially. I have a lot of things to be pissed off about today. Because I went to college, and in grad school, my focus of study was artificial intelligence. This was when OpenAI was still a startup. I was learning machine learning and about tensors and the general, what are they called? General preprocess transformers or whatever, GPTs, were just things in papers. And it wasn't exactly new technology, not entirely. I think the most complex thing I ever worked on in college, I went from Markov chains to neural networks. And a lot of modern AI stuff stems just from statistics and chance. And reinforcement. Part of it is in reinforcement learning. And it was cool seeing OpenAI grow into something that could be great. And then the money got involved. Is it raining? I think this is the first time I've seen it rain in this desert since I started this playthrough. Did NVIDIA announce DLSS 5 today? I want to say I heard about it being on the horizon, but I don't know anything about it. I'm almost tempted to say, oh, you know what, fuck it, let's not do a vintage story stream, we're gonna look at NVIDIA stuff, and it's like, that sounds awful, and I'm not going to do it. Leave that to some tech streamer who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. I know stuff about AI to a point, but I don't know much about the tech industry, other than I didn't want to be in it. Actually, what's the head durability on this? I'm going to have to reforge this pick. Because I'm going to go to give it another sharpen, and then it's not going to sharpen. Because there's not any material left. I do think we kind of lost the plot when we came up with graphics cards that just invent frames. It's like, oh, there's a 50% frame boost because we make it up. We interpolate shit. It's like, is this really the best use of our processing power? Is making shit up? And it doesn't even look that great. There's constant blurring. It's fuzzy as hell. Some shit in frames just didn't exist between the actual frames, so you get this artifacting. And it's like, really? This is what we're doing? What's that phrase? Something about, I forget what it is. It's something about when you're training for something and your metric becomes the target, and then it stops. It ceases to be a useful metric. Because people have a tendency to overtrain for a specific outcome, and then you stop getting anything useful out of it. In the pursuit of more frames, we just ended up doing some really useless shit. Like, sure, in some cases, it looks better and it can fill in for poor performance. But it doesn't justify the cost, is the problem. It's just not good. It's no bueno. And I will die on that hill. Frames only matter to a certain point. Resolutions only matter to a certain point. And like I said, I'll die on that hill. I don't care. I have nothing to lose from being honest. And poor, but mostly honest. It's just wild. You grow up, you mature, you start to learn about yourself. You start figuring out what you care about, what's important to you, what matters. And there's some friendless loser billionaire out there making stupid fucking decisions that have global consequences. It's a wild time. Like, we don't live in an age of kings and emperors, but it really feels like we do. You know? Just a little bit. It's not just me. Can't just be me. You see AI generated Resident Evil Requiem in 8K. 8K! 8K is so stupid! Like, I worked at a virtual reality research lab, right? And I worked with the founder of this technology called the Cave, capital C-A-V-E. And it's this projection system that allows you to view 3D imagery. It uses what's like, it uses stereoscopic glasses, almost like old movie stuff, right? And this display uses a bunch of projectors behind these walls, right? And it displays two images stereoscopically. So when you look at it, it looks like really fuzzy. But it uses a tracked headset. And as you move in this space, it adjusts the alignment of the two images. And when you have it set up with these 3D glasses that are synced to the display's adjustment, it looks 3D in front of you. I guess it's mixed reality. It's technically VR, but it's VR without a headset. And at the time it was made, and still even now, it is innovative. It is brilliant. But my God, we didn't have 8K resolution for those because you don't need it. You need detail to have decent rendering, but you don't need that much fucking detail. And it just irritates me to no end seeing people rave about, oh, I need the 4K, I need the 8K. It's like, no, you fucking don't. Someone told you it was cool, and you bought into it, and now you're spending exorbitant amounts of money on something that you can barely perceive, but you've convinced yourself you can. I don't have a lot of expertise on things, but this is one of them. Like when someone says to me, "Oh, I could see things beyond 120 hertz frame rate," and it's like, statistically speaking, it's possible. I don't believe you, but it's possible. Like, sure, if you can, cool, I'm wrong, whatever, but can you really? Or is it just a justification for spending your money? Is it really? Okay. I was gonna go mine zinc, and I did not do that. I'm gonna go trade for some gears. We're gonna bring our prospecting pick before I forget. Although, I already have the area prospect. Oh, but I do need to find the nodes. I'm gonna grab some gears. I don't think I can get any more candles from this vendor, but that's fine. You're doing a random attractive lady who changes every second. 8K uncompressed AI generated textures. Okay. So I think there's a silver lining in this generative AI induced RAM shortage. Because RAM is being bought off in huge amounts, and it's hard to get a hold of, and pre-made computers are coming out with lower amounts of RAM. Technically speaking, now developers need to be more mindful of, oh, my food spoiled my bowl. Developers need to be more mindful of how much RAM they are using for their game clients, for their executables. Which means that uncompressed AI generated texture upscaling is now a liability. Which means that the generative AI tech is being used less in this specific environment because new people developing in that environment don't have the tech for it. Now, it could be argued, oh, that's not a silver lining because that's actually just making work harder for indie developers. That's a fair argument to make. But it is AI eating itself in one interpretation. And I think that's really funny. It's not 100% accurate. It's close enough for it to be funny to me. Alright, I'm gonna have to make some more meals, because I don't have any meals left on hand. So we'll do some mining, we'll do some cooking when we get back. I think all my meat is spoiled, but I should still have some fruit, some grain, some vegetables. Should be fine. Where is that sphalerite? It is northeast. Probably hit this. Zinc. I don't know, man. There's something about this game. I play Vintage Story. I can turn off the major decision-making part of my brain for a good while. And then all I want to do is fucking talk. I missed streaming this. At least when it's not me anxiety babbling all of my actions in the moment. I'm thinking back to the last time I streamed Vintage Story, when I was playing single player before. One of the rants I ended up having was about my community, my Twitch channel, doing stuff on YouTube. And my stance on social media, and this is going to run kind of contrary to everything I literally just rambled about for half an hour. I don't I don't crave wealth and I don't crave fame, but I do want a bigger platform. I like having more people to talk to. I like being available for people to experience. And I would like for there to be more people. But to do that, I kind of you gotta play the game. Unfortunately, that is just how this works. And I've been thinking more about it. The real trouble is that I am extremely impulsive and I tend to play a lot of like random shit rather than niching down as everyone says you should. For good reason. Sure. I didn't bring any fucking ladders with me. I'm a fool. Excuse. Really? The one spot I picked to dig, and it's meteoric iron that I can't take right now. Okay. I'll leave that for later and go somewhere else. I took a reading somewhere over here. Where was that? How did I... Oh, I must have built over it. Yeah, I think it was this. I've been thinking about it more. And just kind of trying to make heads or tails of what I would do. Because part of me just wants to say, fuck it, I'll just stream whatever I want when I want to stream it. And do videos on things I want to do when I want to do it. But we're not in the old Let's Play era. And there are millions of people doing this shit. There are millions of people doing this shit with AI. Like, there are old greats. Name of one guy immediately fails me. But he's literally running like 4 different channels where he's doing gameplay, but this AI generated version of him is doing the commentary. And it's dumbfounding to me. Because it gets views from people who... Uh-oh. That ain't good. People who knew him and people who didn't. Way back. Well. This is the problem. I get the feeling I'm going to get in here and then I'm going to immediately get blasted by something. Hey! There's a guy throwing rocks at me. There's a bow torn there. Look at that. Shoot. I just wanted a path straight down, man. Come on. But what I'm getting at is, not only are you competing with millions of people, now you're competing with millions of people who have access to AI on a platform that is also starting to encourage its own AI slop stuff. Discoverability on YouTube is unmatched by any other platform. Discoverability on Twitch is terrible. Awful. Horrible. Trying to build a community on Twitch alone without any networking or working on other platforms does not work and will not work. Quartz, borax, golden quartz. Oh, no, that's from before. And yeah, there are plenty of people who aren't just media-addled, teenagers that just don't interact with parts of the platform because they're just unbearable. And truth be told, I want to say I was reading some research before about how discoverability on YouTube is now just whatever gets recommended to people. Like they might search for videos and find your channel, but really a lot of click-throughs and channel subscriptions come from, are you similar enough to other people's content? And that drives me wild. Lizard VTuber with the greens. Yeah, I remember that trend. I remember that trend well. Oh, shit. Left my stick behind. Okay, well, this cave ain't turning out so great. I forgot to bring ladders anyway, and I gotta fix my pick. I think I may just end up going home. Also, I don't like the wolves sitting nearby. Yeah, you can yab all you want. And believe me, as much of a negative Nelly as I sound like, I'm not trying to fixate on, all of the negatives and everything you could possibly worry about when it comes to working in a social media situation for a hobby, let alone for a living. But I can't help but want to be aware of the environment I'm in. Even if you don't see yourself as competing, when you perform and you don't get the result you want, you're going to wonder why. And it's important to recognize that it's not always a personal failing, that the algorithms for these things are constantly changing. And truth be told, even when you do know them, sometimes it just doesn't work. Especially if YouTube's doing like some A/B testing shit, but that's the exception, not the rule. And it's important to not take things as like you're being judged or like you're uninteresting or you're boring. You can be. Like me, a lot of the time I feel insecure and I'm like, I'm not interesting enough to start a YouTube channel doing random bullshit. I need to do something meaningful that people care about. And it's like, no, that's not true. Maybe to make lots of money, but there's a chance, and two, it's not necessarily true. It's convincing myself of that's a little bit harder. Because it comes off as very wishy-washy, feels good kind of bullshit where it's like, oh no, just do what you want, follow your dreams, it'll be fine. And then it's like, why am I doing this? What's the point? I know this isn't how this works. I'm not Han Solo. I care about the odds. Oh yeah, with a platform this big, Milk, you're gonna run into situations where there's some content that really needs moderating that's just not being moderated. Oh no, my fruit's spoiled. Fuck. I need that. All my food's spoiling, and all my berry bushes are not grown yet. I know that for a fact. And I have no mushrooms. Oh no. Maybe I should have gone hunting. Let's go and put this away, and we'll make compost later. And that trip was great for yapping, but I didn't really get a lot out of it. In worst case scenario, I can eat fat, but I don't want to do that. Let's see. But yeah, I'm back to thinking about. Oh, yeah, I have the reforge I gotta do. I've been thinking about that sort of thing again, and I've also been on this kick. I had to take a break because it was driving me nuts. I want to make art again. I don't just want to like make drawings just for the hell of it. I want to be good at art. I want to practice and develop my skills because it was something I cared about once. But I'm finding myself in... Oh, did I not seal... Oh, I didn't seal the cranberry juice, man. I'm finding myself getting caught up mentally in the end goal and the result, as opposed to having fun and enjoying myself. And I know that's not how you get good at these things. It's gotta be fun. If it's gonna be this struggle of trying to find a good middle ground between your brain and your hands, because there's not a great connection between your brain and your hands, it's gotta be fun. But it's just... It's not clicking for my brain. There's the impatient need for results. Even if it's like something like, oh, you know, I'm not going to be good at it now. I'm probably not going to be good at it in any reasonable amount of time soon. I get that. I know that. It doesn't stop my monkey brain from doing drawing sessions for a few days and then saying, oh, no, fuck this. You know, I don't want to do this. It's hard. I'm not getting anything out of it. I don't like it. It's just stimulating. I'm stuck there in that loop. And it's like, it's that about the software development stuff. It's like that with the art. It's like that with social media shit. There's some personal growth that's got to come, right? Personal growth fucking sucks. It's not that it's bad, it's that it's hard. It's difficult, and I don't want to do it. That's not true. I want to do it. I just wish it were easier. That's really all it comes down to. Okay, do we have any... We usually get some pampas deer out here. Maybe some wolves. I really don't want the bush meat, though. I would like actual meat. Where... I could hunt a bear, but I'd probably die doing it. Unless I run it into some water. I mean, if I really get desperate, I can just start eating this stuff in my collections raw. Oh, you know what, though? I could go hunting for mushrooms. I have a mod, and one of its features... It's extra info, but one of its features is it lets you highlight where mycelium patches are. Or mushrooms. Some foxes would not be bad, though. If I could aim. Gotcha. Oh, but it didn't kill in one hit. Gotcha. Alright. I forget if foxes are red meat or bush meat, but I guess we're gonna find out. Oh, hey, I know you. You're red meat. Ah, it's a hawk. Get in my belly. There we go. That'll do. I saw a chicken. Somewhere. Oh, that's my spear I'm throwing up. Damn this brush. Gotcha. Oh, I didn't pick up the other one. We ran past it. Oh, damn it, now I've lost it. There you are. Anyway, I got distracted. I don't know. I'm stuck in this state of perpetually thinking and analyzing and trying to figure shit out for myself. And not fucking doing anything. I don't know. Part of me feels like it would be worthwhile to just stop making such a huge deal about it and just do it and let the success of it stop being a priority. Easier said than done, but that's the idea. That'd be great. Did I dig this grave up already? I did. But there's a boar I can kill. Gotcha. I don't know if I have the bag space for that. So I gotta toss one of these, and it's 4 slots. I can, but I gotta adjust. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. There'll be plenty of meat for the trip home. But yeah, I'm still thinking about that stuff. Still figuring shit out. And truly, once I actually come to some kind of conclusion, you all will be the first to know, hey, there's that bear that was here before. But I don't miss. Oh, but the meat and the leather. But it's a bear, and I'm unarmored. I could drown it in the lake. I could drown it in the lake. Nah, it's fine. I'm not that desperate yet. Hey, pampas deer. That's the thing I was looking for before. Overshot. Pick up my weapons and follow the trail. I spooked it. Oh, I thought it was a male and it was going to come charging me. It's like, okay, this is your death. Oh, did it fall in the hole? It fell in the hole. I mean, I got a lantern, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna fall somewhere where it's gonna die. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that deer's dead. That deer's dead. We're not. I'm not going in that hole. I couldn't see the bottom. In an odd way, it's times like these where I wish I had some kind of mentor for this sort of thing. But if you try going online looking for mentor for social media career, you're going to get a hell of a lot of bullshit. It's going to be a lot of like grind set nonsense, and it's going to be people charging you for services that you could find easily online for free. I'm not about that. Anyway, I'm going to carve these up and make some food, but I think before I do that, I'm going to make myself some actual food. I'm going to head off and make some dinner. Thank you all for coming out, listening to me ramble. Yamble? I don't rap. Big ass tongue, and I can't articulate that fast. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely night. I might do more of this week. I don't know. I've gotten my big ramble. Oh, I thought for a second I had lost my bronze spear. It's like, no, I want that. I need that. No, I left one of my regular spears behind. Anyway, I got my big ramble out, but I'll probably do some more yapping this week. Until then, I hope you have a lovely night, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.